What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Clay with Terra Outdoor Adventures, doing a overnight weekend hike. It is late October, so it's right here early fall. Beautiful weekend planned. Got a lot of pretty leaves right now, a lot of orange and red just starting to come in. I'm in the Cheaha Forest, the Talladega National Forest, Cheaha Wilderness area. Gonna be doing the Pinchin Sky loop this weekend. I always want to call it the Pinchinski loop because it's just more fun to say, but it is a loop consisting of parts of the Pinhoti Trail, the Chinnaby Silent Trail, and the Skyway Loop. It's a 19.3 mile trail, and I'm doing it overnight. Kind of a challenge for me. Most of the time when I go backpacking, I'm with some friends that don't really want to do longer trips, you know, with the higher mileage counts or anything like that. So this is going to be the longest trail I've done in just an overnight. That's why I'm trying to get a little bit of an earlier start. It's currently right around 8 o'clock. I'm gonna get going. The trail is right over there. There's the trailhead. We have a lot of miles we need to cover today. I'm trying to get at least 10, hopefully more like 12 miles under my belt today, so I can have a later, an earlier start to get out a little bit earlier tomorrow. But yeah, we'll get started. I'll keep you guys posted along the way, so let's get going. Whew. I will tell you what, I don't know if there is a section in the Cheaha Wilderness that does not have a bunch of rocks, because this is what I just climbed up. It doesn't look that bad from here. I mean, this is the top point of it. This is sort of like the top boulder. But if you try to look down there a little bit, it's pretty obscured through all the leaves and everything. But it's just, whew. I was hoping that the section of trail that me and my friends did earlier this year was the only section with like a bunch of rocks on it, but apparently that's not the case. I guess there's not really any trails in Cheaha that don't have a ton of rocks to climb over. Just very, very steep uphill. Pretty much just fields of little rocks and boulders. And it's doable. It's just super, super slow going. But I should be here at the top of the hill, which means that I'm crossing over the peak and then going back down the other side, and I'm glad to be going down. I don't love going down, but I would take it over going up what I just went up. So gonna rest up for a little bit, drink some water. Not super hungry yet. It's only 10:15. So just gonna rest for a sec since I've basically done all the big uphill that I'm doing today, and pretty much for the trip, I would say. And yeah, glad to be up here. Whew. Well, I wasn't quite at the top where I thought I was my last update. Now I'm at the top. I think this is actually the highest point I'm going to reach on this trail. And take a look at this view. Look at how pretty this is. We're about 2,000 feet up. If I'm not mistaken, that over there is the highest point in Alabama. And if I have my bearings correct, the last time that I was here with my friends, we stopped, I think, there on that point as sort of our like big lookout. I think that's McDill Point, but I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, this is gorgeous up here. I'm glad I stopped to take a look because it's really, really pretty. It's a beautiful day. It's starting to heat up a little bit, and now I'm going to be in the sun, I think, for the rest of it. I may still be out of the sun. The sun was coming up and I was in the shade of the mountain for a while, but now the sun's getting a little bit more overhead and I got to go down the mountain. So yeah, let's keep going. All right, I'm at my first real water crossing. There's been a lot of little streams here and there, but this is the first sort of real water crossing that we're coming to. And I'm glad to be down in this area. That first little section that we were hiking up was just a bunch of rocks. It was just up and down. My thighs are cramping real bad. My right ankle sort of hurts because just the orientation of everything. My right foot was always the one that was sort of, angled this way, slightly going uphill. So I'm very glad to be down here sort of in the flat area. I'm good on water. This is the turnip seed campground area. We're about to cross over and get to the turnip seed campground area. Crossing back over to 281. On the Cheaha Silent Trail portion, I didn't film the the getting onto the Cheaha Silent Trail because I was kind of in a bad mood. The rocks were annoying me, but I'm better now. So I am gonna cross here, and my plan is to keep going on the Cheaha Silent Trail until it gets to the Cheaha Creek crossing, which once you cross over Cheaha Creek, it's a little uphill climb and there's a shelter there. I'm not staying at the shelter, but my plan is to sort of break for lunch at the Cheaha Creek, refill some water, sit down for a little bit. It's currently 12:15, so I think I can get there probably another 45 minutes or an hour, break for a little bit, and then there are some campsites that I stayed at with some friends back earlier this year that I think I'm gonna try to make too, which I should be able to make fine. I think I'm gonna try to camp there unless there's still plenty of daylight left when I get there. But yeah, feeling mostly good now. I think I'm gonna need to take a Tylenol or something when I get to the to where I'm breaking for lunch because my ankle is hurting a little bit. But overall, just glad to be sort of in the more easy section of the trail and be done with all these dang rocks. I'm sick of rocks. So check back in with you later. Glad to be at a stopping point. I was starting to feel not great towards the end of that. Got myself some lunch. It's a new trail lunch for me. This is just a whole wheat pita with some tuna and some mayonnaise. And I also have some pepper in case I need some. I'm not usually a huge tuna fish fan, like canned tuna. I like actual tuna, which I know this is real tuna, but like sliced tuna. But we'll see how this is. Not bad. This is the Bumblebee spicy Thai chili. It's pretty good. I filtered me some water. Put my feet in the water for a little bit, cool them down. It's currently 1:12, so I'm gonna rest here for a little bit. I don't mind hiking for another, 4 hours if I need to. Hike until maybe 5 or 6, depending on the daylight. I already have a good idea for where I'm gonna stop for the night. But if I can go farther than that, that'd be great. But we'll see. Gonna eat me some food, relax for a little bit, and then get back on it. So, whoa, making a mess over here. Whew. All right, this is camp for tonight. You may or may not be able to hear, but there is a family down that way, which is fine. Just a bunch of small kids, so I'm sure they'll be in bed pretty quick. I'm at the intersection of the Cheaha Silent Trail and the Skyway Loop Trail, or the Skyway Trail, I should say. So really next stop is Adams Gap, back where we started this morning. So I'm gonna camp up here tonight. Been roughly 11.5 miles, 11 or 12 miles, which is about the progress I wanted to make today. I think that's sort of my upper limit as far as mileage goes, is 12 miles a day. My last solo overnight, my second day was my bigger day, and it was 12 miles. And I could have gone for longer. I could have gone for like another hour or maybe 2 because I had enough sunlight. But I could not have gone for much longer because I was pretty exhausted. And that's about the same. Now I'm sure that if I did this, once every month or once every 6 weeks or something, my endurance would probably get built up. But as it currently stands, with my job where I work from home, and my relatively sedentary lifestyle, I don't exercise, I don't run, I don't do any of that kind of stuff. So this is sort of like my biggest physical exertion activity. I tend to feel it a little bit. I got long legs, so I can go pretty. Yeah, I can make pretty good pace. But I'm exhausted by the end of it. Just gonna hang out for a little bit, get my stuff set up. So yeah. Well, after I got my tent set up and my sleeping pad blown up, I laid down and fell asleep for a little bit because I was tired. That's a nice little cat nap. So now it is 4:30. Slept for probably maybe 15-20 minutes. I feel a little bit more rejuvenated. Look around, see if I can find some firewood to maybe make a small fire, and then probably start cooking because I'm getting a little hungry. I think I may have an early night tonight. Finally starting to cool down a little bit. It's been a little hot this afternoon, especially on this side of the trail. There's been a lot of direct sunlight or almost direct sunlight. So now it's getting a little bit cooler, which is good because I want to sleep in the cool weather. Just wanted to check in, inform you guys that I took a nap and it was great. Yep. We've got a new meal tonight. This is from Peak Refuel. They're the brand I typically go with. This is the chicken coconut curry. White chicken, rice, and vegetables with a coconut curry sauce. I think it'll be pretty good. The little bit that I smelled of it smells pretty good. And I would say for any of you backpackers out there that have not tried Peak Refuel, I would give them a shot. They're a little bit more expensive, but like just slightly. And in my experience, they have some really, really good food options. I have eaten Pinnacle foods before, and they're great. I really do like them, and it's like a super small business. The only time I've ordered them, the owner wrote me like a handwritten thank you letter. It wasn't personalized, but it was still handwritten. It was very nice for him to do that. But they're kind of harder to get. You can only get them from the Pinnacle Foods like website. These guys are available on Amazon, and I had some other stuff that I was ordering on Amazon anyway, so I was like, okay, why not? So I got this, and then the sausage and biscuits for breakfast, because I love sausage and biscuits. I said sausage and biscuits, I meant biscuits and gravy. Whoops. But let's give this a shot. Tastes about like what you'd expect. It's got like a slight coconut flavor, not spicy at all. In fact, I think well, it's got a little bit of spice to it. I think it could be dialed up a lot more. But I guess you also don't want super spicy food when you're on the trail, because sometimes super spicy food makes for not great trail poops. But this is very yummy. I'm eating early. It's like 5:45 right now. But as I said earlier, I think I'm gonna turn in early tonight. I may not even make this fire because we still have a decent amount of sunlight that looks a lot brighter on the camera than it actually is. But we still probably have another hour and a half of like visible light, maybe hour of visible light, and I don't know. I may be ready to turn in. I brought me some tea this time as well, some decaffeinated tea. Because sometimes drinking tea also really helps me just knock myself out and go to sleep. So, who knows? I also always bring my diphenhydramine, as I've said before, but this is yummy. This is the fire for the night. Kind of slim pickings for firewood around here, but it's not a big deal. I just sort of want this as ambiance for the evening. I don't have to survive with this thing. I've just been sitting here kind of alone with my thoughts, and it is really nice because when the choice of being connected to internet and stuff is there, I usually tend to choose to be connected to the internet and watch stuff on YouTube or whatever. And I have some videos that I've downloaded that I've kind of been watching in the past 30 minutes while I was eating dinner. But it is really nice to sort of just disconnect and sit in the quiet and just like exist for a little bit. Not to get too esoteric or anything, or existential. Yeah, we'll get some more wood on this fire, get it built up a little, and then go to sleep. Well, good morning. Had an okay night's sleep. Tossed and turned a good bit. And one of the negatives about sleeping near a creek is that no matter how little rain there's been, no matter how dry and how low the humidity is, there's always moisture in the air around a river or a creek or a stream. And so when it gets cold, the air condenses and you just always feel a little damp. But I don't mind because I really like being this close to water. I like hearing the water as I'm sleeping. It's a trade-off in my opinion. And I usually expect things to get wet anyways, and so on like a little overnight trip like this, I don't mind packing stuff up that's a little damp because I'm just gonna go home, set it up, and let it dry out anyway. So yeah, not a big deal. But woke up a little bit later than I expected. I set my alarm for 6 and was still very tired, so then I changed it to 7, and then I hit snooze a couple of times, and then at 7:30. So a little bit later start than expected, but not a big deal. I don't have much to pack up. So filtered me some water, gonna get my coffee and my breakfast going, and then we'll pack up and hit the trail. Somebody had found this little log to use as a seat. It was turned over on its side right here yesterday when I got here. So I turned it up on its end, shoved some rocks underneath so it's pretty stable, and now it's a little table. Bars, stable table. Didn't mean to rhyme that. Let's get our breakfast going. Got the Peak Refuel biscuits and gravy, because I'm a sucker for some biscuits and gravy, man. And I really like these because I find that they use less water than a lot of other dehydrated freeze-dried meals or whatever. Most of these always only call for 10.5 ounces or a cup and a third of water. So I really like that because it means less water that I actually have to sit there and filter out and that sort of stuff. I filtered an entire 1.5 liter Nalgene bottle and then went ahead and got another 2 liters of unfiltered water in my little filter bag thing, since I know I'm probably going to need some extra water at some point this morning from coffee and filling up my drinking water bottle. I do like using a totally separate water bottle just for drinking because I like to put water flavoring packets and that sort of stuff in my water, and I don't want to sit there and have to worry about cleaning out or like contaminating my clean water with flavored water. So this I only ever do like just water that I'm going to actively be drinking, and I usually have a flavor packet in there like a strawberry limeade or something like that, just because it's a little bit easier in my mind to keep things separate. We'll get this going first because this will take 10 minutes, and in the meantime I'll get some coffee going too. Well, that's not good. What just happened is my isobutane ran out of fuel. Which is really funny because I'm looking right here at this little, I'm looking right here at the little number of boils. Even on a quarter full, it can fill, or it can do 6 boils. It says 25% full can do 6 boils, 50% full can do 50 boils. I have this little thing, it's a coupler, so you can attach one tank to another, because I have a couple of the bigger sizes of these, but the bigger size does not actually fit in here. So my plan was just to reuse the the excess from the bigger tanks that I've kind of used, because in previous trips I'd be like, oh, I don't trust that I have enough in this one, so I'll just buy a new one. So rather than buying any more, I've just been kind of transferring what's left in one of the big ones to the small one, and I did that Friday night and thought I had a pretty good amount in there, but I guess I don't. Let me try this one more time just to make sure I'm not just stupid or something. Well, I guess that means I don't have hot water for breakfast, which is unfortunate. I wonder if I can go peek down to the campsite down there and see if that family is up and if they're heating anything up. If they are, I may can just ask if I can bum their hot water. Well, they're up, but they're not like out of their tent, so I'm not gonna bother them. I'm just gonna. I only ate 2 of my 6 Cliff Bars that I brought. I brought 3 per day just in case I needed that much. And I'm not actually terribly hungry right now anyway, so I think I'm just gonna eat a Cliff Bar or 2, kind of eat some snacks. And as far as caffeine goes, I do have some water flavor packets I can put in here that do have caffeine in them. So even though it may not be, hot coffee, it'll at least be some energy this morning. And that means that there's less for me to clean up and stuff too. So bright side, I guess. Just annoying because I already opened this. I guess I should have waited. But oh well, maybe I'll just close it up and eat it like as my lunch or something when I get home, because they are pretty good. I am a little sad that I don't get to eat it because last time I had it, it was delicious. I guess let's tear down camp. All of my Cliff Bars and water flavoring stuff are in a bag that goes on the outside of my backpack in my little mesh stuff pouch in the front, so I don't really have to worry about packing that away because it's just going to go on the front anyways. Let's get going. Well, I'm here at the top of the Skyway Loop. There is a Forest Service road that kind of crosses over from this side over to this side. I think I'm going to take a little bit of a shortcut. I have a blister on my left back heel. I feel like these boots always have a little bit of a hot spot in that area, and I always think, oh, there was a hot spot there last time, I'll be okay this time, because like a callus is formed. But I am feeling a little rough, and I know that there's another good-sized push right there, the very last little section of the trail getting out. So I think I'm going to bypass going down this way, down this trail right there where you see that blue flag. I'm going to go up this Forest Service road because I looked at the map and it does connect. I think it's going to be mainly like pretty similar actual mileage, but it just bypasses a little bit of a little uphill climb. So I'm going to take a little bit of an easy shortcut here. Don't hate me. Just trying to make sure I can, I don't have too much pain going up the last little push. So I think I have another, according to All Trails distance estimation is a little messed up. It still says I have 19.5 miles remaining when I definitely don't. And another thing that I wish All Trails would get on is, so like right here, is it focusing? Yeah, there we go. So right here, there's this really handy like terrain estimator, or like elevation estimator, but it doesn't like pinpoint on the map where you're at in the terrain. You can like scrub through this and kind of see a dot moving, but like it knows the dot is moving, and it knows that like I am on this part of the trail, so why can't it just be like, hey dude, your relative position on this elevation map is there, so I kind of know what I'm dealing with. I don't know why that hasn't been implemented, or if there's some like really weird thing to overcome in app development or GPS positioning, but I don't know. My battery's about to die, so I'm going to strap back on and keep going. Well, I'm pretty exhausted. I didn't do any filming when I got off the trail. because I was not in the best mood when I got off the trail. Do not do what I did and try to take the Forest Service road thinking it's a shortcut. It may have been a shortcut, but there was actually 2 Forest Service roads that terminated at the same sort of crossing that I decided I was going to try to follow. And apparently I followed the wrong one, so it backfired big time. I actually wound up doing more up and down than more up and down than I would have done if I just followed the trail. Not to mention that there was also a bunch of brush, trees that were maybe 10 feet tall, a lot of, vines and stickers and all that kind of stuff that were just all throughout where I was trying to get through. So it was 100% more trouble than it was worth. And that sort of, I think, soured my spirits for the most part. Right there at the end of the trail, I did fall a couple of times when I was navigating through bushwhacking after taking the Forest Service roads because it was just so steep. Just kind of fell and slid down some hills, but I think that sort of soured my spirits. I'm learning my own limits of enjoyment. I can do things physically, but that doesn't mean I really enjoy doing them. So I think that maybe 10 miles a day, or even less than that, maybe 8 miles a day is sort of my upper comfort limit if I'm just wanting to go and sort of have a more chill experience. This trip was sort of what was an attempt to figure out where my limits are. So I'm glad I did it, because I know that I can do a 19.3 or essentially 19 or 20 mile trail in 2 days, but I may not have the best time doing it. If it was flat ground or not a ton of elevation changes, then boy, I could probably do 15 miles in a day. But I think I'm learning that I wind up not having as good of a time when I try to push myself like that. I'm sure if I was in better physical shape, it wouldn't be as bad. I have had kind of more of a sedentary lifestyle here recently. It's been so hot during the summer that, I haven't really wanted to go out and do much, and now weather is finally starting to get cooler, so I do want to go out and do stuff, but I don't work out, I don't run, I really just take walks with my wife and our dogs and that sort of thing, so, I'm not the most physically active. I work from home, I have a standing desk that helps, but, something like this is kind of challenging when you're not as physically active as you should be. So I think it's good to find your limits, and this message is just sort of to say, know your limits. I wasn't in any sort of dangerous situation because of the trail that I was on. There was plenty of people on the trail. There was a lot of people that, were also seeming to struggle, but this is sort of just, a word of caution to know your limits. Make sure that you are not pushing yourself too crazy hard, because it can be kind of dangerous. There was never a point on this trip where I felt like I was in danger. I felt confident in myself that I would make it through, but that doesn't mean that I wasn't close to being sort of in the danger zone. Definitely a couple of spots when I was going downhill where I felt like my thighs and my knees were kind of starting to give out. I was getting a lot shakier going downhill, which was a little worrying. But I made it out fine. I enjoyed the trip overall, but it wasn't the most enjoyable trip for me, which is fine. They're not all winners. And then I drove like 45 minutes away from the trailhead to a barbecue place and got me some ribs, which were great. And then came home to my wife and my dogs, and wife went off to to an event that she's going to tonight. But yeah, just wanted to sort of sum up everything at the end of this. Just because I didn't film as much as I was expecting, or as I was anticipating to, because I was having a harder time on the trail, and I just didn't feel like I wanted to completely unload my pack, get the camera and the tripod out. So yeah, this is sort of a summation of my thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please like it. If you disliked it, dislike the video. That sort of feedback does really help. I am planning on doing some more videos here soon, now that things are starting to cool down as far as temperatures go. So I want to do, a tent review, a full-on sleeping bag review, a pack review, some of those sort of things. Can't always do trip vlogs because you can't always go on trips. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you want to. I'd really appreciate it. This channel, is growing faster than I expected it to, which is great, and I'm sure it'll keep growing if I keep, putting out some content and you guys keep subscribing and tuning back in. So thank you so much. This has been Clay from Terra Outdoor Adventures. Hope you have a great evening. Happy holiday season kind of going into November. And I'll talk to you next time. See ya.